Hey girlfriends, so you want to keep the house, and with interest rates the way they are and the housing market the way that it is, I can completely understand. But can you afford it? When it comes to what we do with real estate in the house, there's really only a couple of options. We either sell the property and split the proceeds, or we let one party refinance and buy out the other party's interest in the property. Now, exactly what your ownership interest is something that can vary from state to state depending on whether your state follows an equitable distribution or community property model for property distribution. So you'll definitely want to check with your attorney about exactly what each party's entitlement is to the equity that has been incurred during the marriage. But you'll also probably want to talk to a financial planner and come up with a real solid plan for how to pay for this new mortgage and all of the responsibilities associated with homeownership on your now single income. So just a couple of things to keep in mind. Of course, you don't just have to qualify for the existing mortgage balance since you're going to refinance and pay back his portion of the equity. That will be a greater, mortgage balance than currently exists today, unless you trade off for some other asset in your separation agreement. Like, say, for example, you waive a portion of his retirement in order to get him to waive his interest in the home. That's usually something that can be achieved in a separation agreement. But otherwise, your mortgage payment is certainly going to go up just because the mortgage balance goes up. In addition, you'll also have to refinance at the existing interest rates, which may or may not be higher than when you initially got your loan or when you refinanced last. So that's worth considering. But you'll also have to look at just general day-to-day costs associated with the house. How much are the utilities? How much are you currently paying? What needs to be done to the house? And I'm not just talking about updating that out-of-date bathroom that you hate. It's also, is there going to be a big storm and a tree falls on your house? It goes through. You need a whole new roof. Is your HVAC system going to go out? There's plenty of things that are covered by insurance, but often with pretty high deductibles, and that doesn't mean that there's not incidental expenses on your end. There's other things too that aren't covered by insurance or don't meet the amount of the deductible, but can still be real budget busters. So you'll want to consider and at least work into your plan just the possibility of having those expenses come up. You'll also want to think about things like just maintenance and care around the house. If your husband has been the one doing the yard work or mowing the grass or managing the leaves, it's stereotypical, but it's possible that that's been your arrangement. Are you going to do it yourself, or are you going to hire a landscaping company or some kind of similar service to take care of those things for you? And that can increase your monthly costs, especially in the months where there's a lot to be done. Like right now, it's spring for me as I'm recording this video. So, everybody's, clearing out their beds and mulching and getting things ready for the summer. So those kinds of things can be expensive. It's expensive to have your grass cut every 10 days or whatever too. So I would just think about those expenses too and talk with your financial advisor and really come up with a plan for how you're going to meet all of those expenses. And if you can't, and it's possible that you can't, because it is really, really hard to continue to afford a similar lifestyle on a single income, even with child support and or spousal support, if that's something that you're entitled to receive, then it's definitely worth looking at what your other options are. I know that can be a really difficult thing. We have logistical attachments to our homes and our lives and the neighbors and people that live around us, but also emotional attachments to the home as well. So it can be a really difficult thing to give up. But nobody wants to be house poor. That can be a really difficult position to be in. So make sure that you are planning appropriately and asking the right questions and consulting the right experts so you can be sure to make the best decision for you or your girlfriend.